your right in 3. 10. 1. And left, quick. Straight up. Right. Straight up. Right. Straight up. Move to your left in 3. About 10. 10.
1, 2, 3, turn.
Right. Straight up. Wide. Break.
Turn.
Right. Straight up. Right. Wide. Hold.
Turn. 1, 2. 1. 2, 3.
Right. Straight up. Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is no coincidence that we as government have chosen Marakele National Park to host this year's World Rangers Day celebration. Of course, we were to go to Western Cape, but we also found it fit and befitting indeed that we be at this Marakele. As you know, some of you may well know this, one of Africa's most iconic species, the rhino, is increasingly under threat from the poacher's gun. Rhino populations around our country are indeed vulnerable, as are the rangers, who are have dedicated their lives to protecting these iconic species of ours in particular. But not only that, also fauna and flora in general, the plant species as well. In particular, hard-hit areas, the Rangers Corps are being militarized, with some Rangers engaged in daily confrontations with heavily armed gangs in the parks. This is why I was saying their tasks are evolving. No longer are they just caring for our conservation in a true spirit of conservation as we have already always known it. Considering the magnitude of the problem, which we as government are tackling through the integrated strategic management of rhino as approved by Cabinet in 2014, we are all the more keen to trumpet our successes. Chivo has just told us that we must not win and we must not lose, and we will not lose this fight. So we will continue to trumpet our successes as we recognize those successes. And in this particular instance, I've been told that it has been nearly 2 years since the last rhino was poached here in Marakele National Park. And I think we need to say thank you to the Rangers. And of course, that even as a fact that during that last incident, the suspects were successfully tracked down, apprehended and arrested by our rangers, our own. Thank you very much. So, this is not their playground, it is our home and our space. I really want to say a big thank you for the demonstration that was done earlier on here. And as we were going through the parade inspection, I want to just tell you that as you're standing next to that men and women, you feel the sense of pride and indeed that they are ready for any confrontation that they may come. I'm sure you saw them. They're fit, strong, even in this cold. And I really want to say thank you very much for the demonstration as well. One of our people, I heard one of them saying, "Did you do it?" I was so scared. What? That dog was going to kill that man. Of course it must. If it's a poacher, it must just tear him apart. Oh, it is an extraordinary achievement for which we must salute our rangers on behalf of not just the Department of Environmental Affairs, not just on behalf of SANParks, but also on behalf of our entire government of South Africa, and indeed all South Africans. I'm saying so because this is one area that I think South Africans are united behind fighting this war. Whether they're NGOs, sometimes insulting us a bit, whether they are a private sector and so forth, but you feel the emotions of people who are really touched by what's happening here. It shows support. That's what I choose to read in everything that every one of us do out there as South Africans. Now, success of South African Rhino Protection Plan and implementation here at Marakele is fundamentally linked to the work of the park rangers. It is linked to other work that's done by other staff members and the network of cooperation between the parks management and those living in and around the vicinity. Our councillors, we are saying thank you for the work that you are doing, for allowing and instigating our communities and actually encouraging them to be a greater part of a park like this one, because it is theirs. It is them who can actually also lead us and lead our rangers to some of the poachers who are coming, whether here at Marakele or everywhere else. So it's got to be that communication, coordination, and relationship that's ever growing and standing between the park staff and so forth and the communities. Now, this model of integrating communities into the mainstream of conservation is one that we champion, and we are extremely proud of. For it is a fact indeed that until democracy, the relationship between our parks and our people was defined by dispossession and discrimination. That's a past. We will see it as a past. But now our protected areas existed at the time for the sake of a very few, leading to distrust and suspicion between the management of the parks and the communities within which they were located. It has been under this government, it's led by the African National Congress, that the gates that once were sealed off our protected areas from our people have now been flung open. This is our park. These are our parks. Now more than ever, communities are playing a role in preserving our natural heritage. And as we continue to fight the threat of illegal wildlife crime, as we are here in Marakele National Park today, they have become our allies and partners. And we know that we could not have done so without our rangers and other staff who continue to nurture these relationships. Theirs is a task that can be rightly called, and I quote, always on their feet. Not only are they out battling the elements, sometimes spending weeks out in the bush at a time, but they are also eyes and ears on the ground, cultivating networks in communities and building relationships of trust for the sake of protecting our wildlife and also our plant species. We recognize, ladies and gentlemen, that in order for biodiversity conservation to make some sense to others and to ordinary South Africans, by the way, we have to ensure that we collaborate with communities, particularly those who are directly affected by poaching. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a plan, and that's a rhino protection plan. Many of you may have heard about that. And that plan has been so successful here in the Marakele National Park. And it's one of the six under implementation in parks around the country. As part of this plan, our rangers have, amongst other things, been receiving intensive professional training to deal with the threats posed by armed poaching gangs. We have also provided our rangers with extra equipment and support, such as the canine systems and so forth, many that I may not be able to name here. I think you do recall the trailer that was recently released costing quite a lot of money. That's intended to deal with issues of doing specimens and so forth. Kruger National Park also received, SANParks in particular received that for Kruger National Park. So we will continue to support you, Chief Viewer. On behalf of government, let me just assure you, and all our rangers will continue to support you in whatever manner that we can, because we do understand the difficult task that you are faced with throughout, and through thick and thin, being so engaged and so committed. Ladies and gentlemen, earlier this week, the Rhino Conservation Awards were held in Johannesburg to acknowledge those at the forefront of conservation of the species across not just South Africa, but all the African rhino range states. May I also say that this event is also held in partnership with other organizations. And we must thank those organizations that continue to organize these events of this nature and recognizing our rangers, because it can only help them boost their morals and make them really want to do more and more. Now, not only were two of our Kruger National Park staffers runners-up in the category of Best Field Ranger, but our world-famous Black Mamba Anti-Poaching Unit won in the Best Conservation Practitioner category. And I think we must really congratulate them and say a big, big thank you. And I say they are world-famous because of their efforts, and not just because they are known for being a ladies-only hit squad. The work of the Black Mambas doesn't just focus on conducting anti-poaching operations in the Balule Nature Reserve in Limpopo. They also spend a great deal of time educating communities in area on the benefits of conservation and rhino protection. Because it is mainly only when our communities actually understand the benefits of conservation and rhino protection that they too will want to do something. Now, engaging with communities directly to combat wildlife crime is a cornerstone of government's anti-poaching efforts countrywide here in South Africa. The introduction of our environmental monitors into areas facing high numbers of poaching incidents has indeed played a demonstrable role in combating this crime. Now, these rhino ambassadors also play the role of a protector and educator interchangeably. And this is indeed a testimony to the increasingly important role that they play in wildlife management today. Another example of a multifaceted and changing role of the ranger has been on the Table Mountain National Park. People there, now rangers there, ladies and gentlemen, are faced with increased incidences of criminal activity which actually target visitors. That's a chief whip. You can imagine if your visitors come here and they are targeted by just people from nowhere, what would happen? It could easily lead to losing numbers in the tourism space. So that's what we began experiencing in the Western Cape. But the presence of the rangers has led to a significant reduction in the crime in that park, at the Kruger National Park. Now, given the magnitude of the publicity around rhino poaching, ladies and gentlemen, it is important to remember that this is a crime that's not isolated to any particular species, but it affects much of other species in the entire fauna and flora. South Africa's extensive coastline of marine life, what do we say? We're reminded, some people are saying it's about 3,000 and leave it there. Somebody was saying just at Lekotla now, please don't say 3,000. Say 3,900 and something. If you want to be specific or round off, say 4,000, not 3. So that extensive coastline of marine life, ladies and gentlemen, is unfortunately under threat of exploitation by criminal syndicates. So they leave us nowhere peaceful, these people. We must find them and really continue to deal with them. And this process indeed has negative consequences for our sustainable use policies that aim to create and maintain large-scale opportunities for our people to live, work, and eat from our oceans, and for our oceans to be conserved for future generations as well. Our marine rangers are playing a key role in stamping out abalone poaching along the coastlines. We have to remember those rangers as well as we celebrate all rangers today, the work that they do. In the Bird Island Marine Protected Area, which forms part of the Addo Elephant National Park, our rangers have managed to successfully and effectively eliminate abalone poaching. And I think we must say a big, big thank you to them as well. Now, some of our rangers are based on Bird Island and equipped with patrol vessels, together with well-established informal networks. These rangers have managed to achieve an extraordinary defeat, as have the rangers here at Marakele. Where there are successes, we'll talk about those successes. And once again, a big thank you. They have shown, ladies and gentlemen, that though the task is immense, the actions of rangers in the area in which they work can in fact clear an area of poaching. Not impossible, it's not insurmountable. They are successes we once again applaud and seek to build on all over the country. Ladies and gentlemen, next year South Africa will host the 17th Conference of Parties on the Convention on the International Trade and Endangered Species of Fauna and Flora. That's in short called CITES. This long name stands for CITES, or this small short acronym stands for this long name. This will provide us with an opportunity to demonstrate not just this country's conservation success, but also to promote the sustainable utilization of our natural resources as an integral part of conservation and economic growth. By the way, we have been asked by the SG of CITES that please look for your conservation successes so that you can show the world what South Africa is able to do. Please look up for those. Let their selection not be done by Edna Molewa or DG or Fundi, but by yourselves, those of you who are in the trenches. So think about that and continue to work on it. South Africa is a country where sustainable utilization of our natural resources is constitutionally protected. For we know that if used responsibly, our natural endowment can aid in resolving our many challenges like job creation, need for skills development, and economic growth and upliftment of our people. Because our parks aren't just places for beauty or nice to have. They are to be utilized sustainably for tourism and for these many other things. They are a major contributor towards community upliftment, a source of employment, an incubator of the next generation of conservationists. Which is why our Department of Environmental Affairs, through our Environmental Protection and Infrastructure Program, has prioritizing funding to our People and Parks program to the tune of just over R1 billion to support our communities in this regard, of course in several programs, not just one program. To foster true pride in our natural parks amongst all our people, we have made our communities key, and indeed our rangers, key to all decision making. For you are, and these communities are, current and future ambassadors of our conservation. Many of the rangers, ladies and gentlemen, that we celebrate here today did not grow up believing that this was career path for them. And that's what we are today, a real rainbow nation. So we must continue to see ourselves as that, working together from different makeup of our society, black, white, and all. This is why we have actually started giving opportunities to all of you. So see this as South Africans. See this as people who have to contribute in your own country, from all walks of life. As I conclude, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to once again remind those gathered here today that our country's natural splendor, which draws hundreds of thousands of tourists to South Africa every year, is not as beautiful as it is by chance. It didn't happen to us. We are making it happen because we are working hard on a daily basis to conserve and to preserve these pristine areas for those who may want to come and see them, but also for ourselves to enjoy. Our forefathers realized that natural beauty they looked upon back then, like here in Marakele, had to be legally protected to ensure that it will be there for the future generations. So let us continue to do what our forebears directed us to do, what they taught us to do, what they showed us to do in demonstration by establishing both Kruger National Park and many others that are here, up to a point where we even now have the waterback biosphere and many other biospheres. Let us continue to preserve, conserve as well, indeed conserve, our natural species, our beauty, our country that's so beautiful, more beautiful than many others, by the way. We are told that we are actually, not we are told, we know as a fact, that we are third most mega diverse country of the world. Third, 1, 2, 3. I don't pass to 4. Of the hundreds of countries, how many are there in UNFCCC? 194, I think. 1, 2, 3. That's where we come from biodiversity point of view. And I think this is great news. We must continue and start to stay there. Executive Mayor, this will continue to boost Chief Whip and Mayor and Representative. Boost our tourism destination here in Tabazimbi. In the entire municipality, in fact. In Lipalale and all over. When one day the mines would have come and gone, the pristine areas of our country will remain. Let us preserve them that way. They are here to stay. The work of a ranger, ladies and gentlemen, is a diverse and complex one. As rangers, they have and will continue to lead the way for us, all of us, in conserving our country's natural wonders. And in tribute to all that they do, I want to say, let us follow in their footsteps. Each and every one of us have a duty. Let us support them in whatever manner we can, by words of encouragement, by donating those who can donate, equipments and whatever, by really just applauding them on a continuous basis, because they make us who we are. We are very, very proud of you.